With uPlanIt, you're not stuck with the component list that came with your reserve study. That's just your starting point. Test and see what happens if something costs more or less, or if you do a project sooner rather than later, or even add or delete some reserve projects because of changes to your operating budget. You can even see if it's worth the effort to move your reserve funds to a place where they'll get more interest. No more wondering. Follow along and see how clients are actually using uPlanIt to take ownership of their reserve planning. And now we'll go to adjusting your components, which is something a lot of associations do. Basically in here, we'll talk about adjusting the cost, the timing, deleting a component, unfunding, adding, and again, I could have added another bullet point, restoring if you've really fouled things up, getting back to the starting point. We have a lot of clients say that they feel like their reserve study is a square peg and they're trying to fit it into a round hole. So this is how you do all the customizing. So let's get back to uPlanIt. Okay, here we are. And let me just show where we're going to go with this. Okay, at this point in time, this analysis is nicely balanced. It's a full funding analysis. You can see that the funding plan here is nice and smooth over the years, and it results in achieving and stabilizing at the 100% funded level, and that's done at $4,500 per month. So we can see, well, the changes we make, how it's going to affect the funding. So, see, we already learned that this reserve study is driven by asphalt, building exterior, and roof. So what do you want to do? Let's push around some of these components.
Absolutely. I mean, we can throw a bunch of what ifs out here, and we could start with the asphalt. Let's say the association has gotten their reserve study and they consulted with an asphalt vendor, and in the vendor's opinion, or the consultant's opinion, they could seal 2 more times and then resurface. So they could push that 6 years remaining out to 10 years. And we want to see what that looks like.
Okay. Is the cost still okay? $114,000?
Yeah. If let's say they get an estimate from that consultant, we bump it up to $130,000.
Okay. So we've changed the repairs. Yeah. Changed the remaining useful life. We changed the current cost and estimate from Joe's Asphalt Company. Always nice to document. Okay, what else?
Let's say you do a little bit of research with the master association that this sub-association or townhome association is located within, and you find out that the townhome association is actually not responsible for the mailbox kiosks.
Oh, I like that.
So we can remove those from the funding plan.
Okay. There's 2 ways we could do it. We could literally delete the component, or for the purpose of this demo, let's just unfund it, okay? So it's still there, but it's just not funded. And you can see it turned gray. It means that the funding plan is going to ignore that. What else?
Well, we had, go ahead.
Add that entry sign back in just because we like to?
Absolutely.
Entry sign, 1, 2 by 5. Whoops, 2 by 5. What do we have? 15?
15, 4 years remaining, and a $2,000 replacement cost.
And estimate from ABC. Signage. Click Save. It went down to the bottom. I kind of don't care. Let's take a look.
Let's take a look to see how that affected our financial plan.
Okay, what did we do? We pushed the asphalt out. We are not funding for mailboxes, but we added a sign. So let's see how those balance against each other. And it actually looks like they kind of offset each other, so that we haven't shown anything very interesting. Let's make another big change.
Sure. Let's say that let's add back the exterior lights. Let's say they need to be replaced next year.
Okay. There was 50 of them, 20 years life, 0 years left, and how much?
Let's go with $20,000 as the estimate received.
20,000, and you said next year, not this year. So we'll put a 1 there, and end of life soon, plan for 2026. Now, this is a 2025 analysis that we're doing here when we're recording at the end of 2024, so this will be happening in 2026. So we should be able to see a $20,000 expense. Let's go look at that. There we go. That's that $20,000 expense. And the asphalt is now 10 years away, 5, 10, so it's part of here. Let's see how much that rattles the funding plan. There we go. Those exterior lights dropped the strength of the reserve balance down from the 100% level down to the 80 or 90% level. So that's what you see. You get to see in real time the effect of your changes. If you want to get back to where it was, we're going to click this full solver button. And you can see that it's going to take about 4660 up from 4,500. But more on that in the next section. Is that what we want to show here?
Yeah, I think the big picture is that the component list is always your foundation of creating a solid financial plan into the long-term future.
At Association Reserves, we make the present less stressful and the future more secure. If you want to join us in this mission, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment down below on what you'd like to see us address in a future video. Let's plan for your best future.